over your shoulder is the Passaic River, so we are able to see some of those boats that are in the water. So, what's going on? They're looking for 2 juveniles.
They are, and I think when you hear the word juvenile, obviously it's a large age range. We're hearing it's 10-year-olds, 2 10-year-olds, possibly a 10-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. At this point, Linda, I'm going to show you what I see here. I am literally on the bridge overlooking the Passaic River. About, I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 river boats right now, motorboats, Totowa Fire Department, Passaic, Wallington, and a few others. They're in, they have their lights on, and they are actively searching for these 2 kids, 2 10-year-olds, as we understand. I'm just keeping my eye on the river because there are boats up and down the river, and then they can also go from where we are under the bridge to the other side of the river as well. So they are looking, they have their oars out. They have all of their gear, and they are just going back and forth. It almost appears as if they're doing it in some sort of grid fashion in which they go up, they turn around, they come back, they
Mhm.
go up, they turn around and come back. Again, as we understand it, at some point this afternoon, 2 10-year-olds went into the water. They were playing in the water, and then a distress call came in, and immediately, first responders arrived here with drones and other services in order to try to find these 2 kids.
Mm.
Apparently, there was also a 3rd child with them, and that child has made it out. That's what we understand. We are waiting for the mayor to confirm that, but 2 children still missing. Now, when you hear 2 children missing, obviously that's incredibly frightening. Given that, number one, the sun's about to set in a little bit, so it's going to get dark very soon. Number two, let me turn this camera around. Look at how high up the Passaic River is.
Mm.
I mean, this is all from yesterday's rainfall and obviously the last couple of weeks of storms. There is a significant amount of water in this river right now. And so as a result, it's making it that much more challenging for a child to get out of the river if they are in fact able to swim and get themselves to safety. There's a lot of heavy brush. Honestly, as I'm looking at it, Linda, I don't even see like a wall or anything that somebody could hold on to. So a very concerning situation here. They are again in some sort of methodical grid-like fashion going up and down the river with their spotlights on the river, putting their oars in and just working through. Let me show you a little bit more about what we're seeing. So we're on River Drive in the vicinity of 9th and Wall. There are people on that side that are watching to see what's going on, lots of media on the bridge. And then if I take you this side, there's a crowd that is gathered also in front of the Holy Rosary Church Youth Center. So it looks as if they might be. I'm going to turn my camera around. It looks like they might be trying to put another boat in the water as well. Let me see if I can zoom into that. I'm not sure if I'm able to, Linda. If I can, I definitely will. Yep.
Okay.
All right, let me try to zoom in. Yeah. So it looks like they're loading another boat into the river on that slip right there. That's a new one. So that makes like 6 or 7 now boats in the river. It Again, we are just waiting to get an update from the mayor, Hector Laura, as well as Passaic County Police and Passaic City Police as well. When we have that information, we will definitely bring it to you. See, this is what I was talking about. I'm going to flip this around for you again, Linda.
Okay.
Look here. It is so dense. The brush is so dense. Do you see that they're taking their flashlight, combing it into the trees there, and they're also taking their oars and attempting to move those trees around to try to see if they can see anything in the water or in the brush. Just take a quick minute. This is the Passaic Fire Department right here, Marine One boat.
Teresa, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. I can hear
Okay.
you, Linda, while you look at this. Yes.
Some of the video that we had seen earlier, you could see a first responder as well walking, behind those big trees that you were just showing there that border the river because there are homes
Yeah.
up there. There's a And
Yes.
so there were some first responders walking through there. Yeah, those homes right there, walking back in there
Yeah.
with flashlights, I guess looking through that thick brush because like you were saying, with all of that rain that we've had recently, the ground is just saturated, and that would include the ground that all of these trees are on. So if kids are playing like on the side of the river there and playing around in the
Yeah.
grass or in the shrubs or in the bushes, and then they suddenly slip and fall into the water, if you don't know how to swim, you wouldn't be able to get yourself back out.
Exactly. Now that building that you mentioned might be home, it actually looks to be a rectory or some sort of church.
Oh,
And
okay.
there is a parking lot in the back. And the fence is right up against the river's edge. So it's not like there's any sort of promenade or walkway or anything like that that separates the property from the river. You are entirely correct, Linda. Now, here's what we don't know right now. We don't know if these kids knew how to swim. We don't know how strong of swimmers they were. They're 10, so we're not sure what their swimming capabilities or their water safety is. They're starting to put up more lights here behind me as well. Again, we're on the bridge, so it's a
Mm.
lot of activity right here, and I'm going to just move out of the way. We don't know what their their water safety was like. If these kids know how to swim, maybe they can swim and maybe they were able to swim to safety. But our understanding is that they were playing in the water and then they sort of got swept away or were carried by the water. Um, so, with that information, I'm going to send things back to you. Again, we're waiting for more. I don't want to say too much, Linda, because we
Hmm.
don't exactly know what the situation is. We're waiting for official word from the mayor and from emergency services here to tell us exactly what they believe is going on. At this point, what we know for certain is that they are still looking for these two 10-year-olds, a boy and a girl. They were also with a third child who has apparently made it to safety.
Hmm.
Um, we know the kids were playing in the water and they were either carried or swept by the river. But you can see the way that I'm going to flip around one more time so you can see this river is moving. Um,
Yeah, I was just
it
going
is
to ask you
moving. And
about that.
so
What is the current like? Because, we see it, but is it moving even more swiftly in person than what it appears on camera?
it is a little bit tough to tell because you have so many boats right now in the
Ah,
water.
right.
So that's obviously creating ripples. Like I said, I have one, two, three, four, five boats just right in front of me here. So I can't say for certain the river is moving faster than normal or anything like that, but it's the Passaic River. So it moves.
Right.
It moves. It's a very active body of water. And you're right. Look, there are a lot of towns along the Passaic River. They're used to the water being up this high. We're used to talking about flooding and all of that. But it was a beautiful summer day. And this is what kids do, they play in and around the river.
Of
I don't know if
course.
it's common for kids to play when it's this high, when the water is up this high, but this does happen. We see it a lot, especially in some of your urban areas on a hot summer day. This is pretty common. Not that it's advised, but it does happen. And so that's what we're seeing at this point right now. We've put in a call to the mayor, hoping that he can come back and give us a proper update so we can get more information.
Okay.
The search efforts have not been going on for that long, so hopefully it'll be. Hopefully we'll have some sort of resolution soon and we'll be able to get some good information. But there are a lot of people lined up here and looking, and there's a lot of community interest in this.
Of
Everybody wants
course.
to make sure that these kids are found and they're brought back safely.
Sure. Absolutely.